Are you ready? You're coming with me. I have a little over 2 hours and I want to use this time to get organized for September. But here's the thing. My neighbors are getting some work done and it's very noisy right outside my window. So we're going to do this whole thing voiceover style. September is going to be a packed month with lots of events, festivals, occasions in my personal life. On the work front, I have some deadlines, consultation calls, and I also have to start prepping for end of the year product launches. In my August monthly reset, I first scheduled in my breaks and then filled up my calendar. And I'm going to do that again this month because it really helped me manage my time better. So if you don't watch the entire video today, take this with you. Schedule rest periods, white spaces, whatever you want to call it, and then fill up your calendar. If you want, join me today and let's set ourselves up to have a mindful, productive September. You can do this in a notebook or on your laptop. You can also download my simplified 90-day plan in Notion. I'll have that linked for you and let's start. The goal is not to get everything done. I don't need that kind of pressure. I'm a human and a mom who has to be flexible with my routine and work hours. That's just the season of life I'm in. And having a reset routine helps me manage everything. If you're new here, I plan things in 90-day chunks, use my weekly planning to focus in and get things done. And in my monthly planning, I step back a little to see how I did and where I want to be at the end of that 90 days. I also want to mention that where I live, you sort of have to do everything. I do have my husband's support and we do have our home responsibilities divided based on how much time we can give, and we are there to catch each other when one of our plate is full. I wanted to mention that because it gives you some background as to why I have the systems I have, and also for you to take what's relevant to you and discard what you don't need. Part 1. Reflect. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to pull up my August calendar and go through the appointments, events that happened, look through my camera roll on my phone, and just refresh my memory about the things that happened. And then I'll go through my accomplishments and disappointments, which I note down in my Notion dashboard. What I like to do is pull from them the things that worked and the things that didn't, and then think through why that was and what I can do differently next month. For example, if I take my YouTube upload schedule, I was late by a few hours for one of the videos, and while I feel it's an accomplishment given that this was the first month of full schedule, I uploaded 3 videos per week. I can also see that it's not sustainable. And in this process, I also found that there were some glitches with my workflow. So I need to figure those things out. Next, I'm going to look at the different areas of my life. For me, I've divided it up into business, family, personal admin and finance, home and household, friends, travel, health and fitness. For each of these, I have some goals which then have their habits, tasks, projects. For example, if I look at my personal admin and finance, one of the goals for August was to be mindful with my spendings. So I'm looking at the figures I was aiming for in my budget, how I did against that, if that was more, then look at why that was, and if there was something beyond my control. Part 2, planning. So everything I just did, I'm going to use it to plan for the next month. So for the next 30 minutes to an hour, I'm going to spend on planning. The first thing is to fill the calendar with important dates. Anything on my husband's work calendar that affects me or our family, I put those first. Next, I look at my kids' school calendar, put those in. Any appointments, birthdays, events, festivals, those go on my calendar next. And then I'll put in the days I plan to take off my work. I'm lucky that my work schedule is flexible. I look at the time slots in my calendar that I can open up for consultation calls. Having all this in my calendar gives me a realistic idea about how much time I really have and then when I plan to do my work. I can be realistic about how much I can do. And like I mentioned at the start of the video, having scheduled breaks has been a game changer for me. Now that I have my calendar, I look at my goals. The goals I've completed this month, the new goals I want to set, and for the existing goals, see how I'm doing, whether I'm on track, and do I need to change anything. For example, I have a revenue goal for my business. I'm behind on that goal. So I want to think about what other revenue sources I can add. I'm going to do this for all my goals, personal and work. I have my goals. I have the things I need to do to achieve them. Next, I'll look at my projects under each goal. Taking the same example of the revenue goal for my business, I have multiple projects under it. So I'm looking at all the ongoing projects that I need to start. I mentioned earlier that I have some product launches later in the year, so I need to start those projects. I also have a list of someday projects. I'll go through them and see if there is anything I want to schedule. Once I have the projects I'll be working on this month, I'll list down the tasks, decide on the deadlines, and then put it in my calendar. When exactly will I be working on those tasks? For example, one of my house goals is to take better care of my garden. So I need to schedule time to prune the garden beds, watering schedule, when I have to put the fertilizers, when do I have to call the gardeners for the more heavy duty work that I can't do. Put all those things in my calendar. The advantage of putting things in my calendar is that I can see which weeks are busier than I'd like and realistically see if I can even get all the things done. I can also move things around, adjust my deadlines if that's an option. Another advantage is that if I say my goal is to be better at keeping in touch with my friends and I have not made time for that in my calendar, I can reevaluate things. Part 3, catch up and clean up. Anything that I was not able to do this month and is quick, I'll do those now. For example, any bills, credit card payments, emails I haven't responded to, check on my bank accounts, if I haven't updated my finance dashboard, royalty payment tracker, sales and expense sheets, those things. Also clean up my laptop, clean out the download folder, empty the recycle bin, and I end the monthly reset with cleaning out my desk. Now sometimes I'm not able to do all these things. I'll do a condensed version of this depending on how busy my life is and how much planning I need to do, but I have to take frequent pauses to look at the big picture, recalibrate to avoid going into autopilot mode or worse, getting burnt out. I hope this was helpful and I'll see you in the next one.